Hi friends, thanks for joining me. This week I am taking part in the sketch challenge. The sketch was set by Sophie Delorme, featuring these lovely trees. And I'm going to stick fairly close to the sketch and just adapting it to suit my photos. To begin with, I'm going to use this stricture paste, which is more or less a texture paste, and I will just apply that to the top half of my paper. So the stencil is from Simple Stories, which is just really an open snowflake design, which is fab. I kind of wish I'd angled the stencil to begin with, as they are sort of fairly upright, but actually by the time I've put on my photos and trees, you don't really see a lot of the snowflakes. One for always covering up the mixed media that I put on a layout, so I've done my usual here. So I'm going to just finish this, putting some of those snowflakes on, just to make sure that you can see them above the photos, and set that aside to dry. So my thought was for those trees that I would make them 3D, like a really easy 3D tree. Being as I can't draw, I've created myself a little template, just using a ruler and made a nice isosceles triangle. I'm going to use that template then just to cut out 3 different pattern papers and 2 layers for each tree. You could mix the layers, so different patterns for the same tree, but I'm going to layer mine one on top of the other using the same pattern. So I'll leave the measurements below in case you want to make your own trees, very similar trees. So you just have an idea of what I've used. What do you think of the pattern papers from the November kit? Oh, I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. It was heartbreaking to have to cut into them to make small trees, but by the end of the month I need to use it all because I'm so used to hoarding stuff. I really shouldn't. So I love this blue one. I'm afraid my colour, because it's dark here early, I tend to have to scrap at night with the lights on, so the colours aren't as good as they should be. So I'll just carry on. This is the last set of trees. And I'm just flipping it over, so actually if you flip over the triangle, you use the least amount of paper. So by cutting out the layers, what I'll do next is score down the centre of each tree, and then I can lift up the edges to make it a really simple 3D shape. But this would look fantastic if you had more layers. You could use slightly different shaped trees. I have used a kind of, as I say, pointed triangle, but you could use a traditional tree shape. They would look fantastic if it were on a card or some sort of handmade embellishment. And the next thing I'll do is just sew down the centre of those to join them together and add a little bit of detail. And while I was off camera, I'll also sew around the top layer for a little bit of detail. So you can see it will just be a really simple 3D shape. So I've sewn around those edges and sewn down the centre. So that'd be a great way to make a paper plane as well. Must remember that for future. So in this month's embellishment kit, you can see those puffy phrase stickers, which are absolutely stunning. And I'm going to use this house paper, which has a lot of pink and red, just to pick up a little bit more red, because it's all very blue at the moment. So I'm just going to add a little bit more red and pink to match my daughter's jacket. So we don't get too much snow here in the UK. So I think this was 2010, this photo. So I do remember we had a few years of a lot of snow, which was absolutely fantastic for the kids. It was a really good experience. Everything comes to a standstill here in the UK when we get a bit of snow, and it probably makes people laugh for those of you that live in cold areas when you're used to having 4 foot of snow. But we're hopeless in this country. So I'm really liking that. And then I'm going to use the kind of the teal coloured paper. Well, I think it's green actually. But again, it's got a little bit of red in, just to introduce those other colours. And I like the dark colour against that light blue background. So once I've got those into place, really it's a case of deciding where my embellishments will be. I think in the main sketch it had like a swash of ink or paint at the bottom of the layout. And rather than go with that idea, I'm going to do a bit of paper tearing and layering. So those puffy stickers are in the embellishment kit and just absolutely marvellous. There's loads of phrases and stickers on there. In fact, all the embellishments this month, because they're exclusive, Kimberly and Kim have gone over the top, as they always do, and just crammed every nook and cranny with extra stickers and die cuts. Absolutely stunning. So I'm just going to stick those into place. That's a kind of a record for me. I think this is the great thing about a sketch. I think it does speed you up a little bit just because you've got a very good structure to work with. I'm just mounting my photos onto a bit of funky foam tape, which is a bit cheaper than using a lot of funky foam tape. I get through loads of foam tape, and it's been quite hard to get hold of in lockdown. I keep running out, but of course I can't just pop to the shops to go and get some more, which has been very frustrating. So I'm just going to glue those trees into place now. And you could decorate those trees with sequins. I've used a little bit of glitter glue off camera, but you could add snow effects, embellishments, little tiny lights. They would look so cute. My photos are not Christmas based, so I didn't really want to make them look too Christmassy. I think, although there are a lot of Christmas elements in the kit, you can still make it work for non-Christmas photos too. So just to draw the eye and replace that ink swatch at the bottom of the sketch, I'm going to tear it along the bottom. I'm really liking torn edges. And I'll be using the back of that house paper, which is that black gingham. I'm absolutely loving black gingham at the moment. I think it goes so nice with the aqua. And look at that, it looks fab, doesn't it? So I'll just take that into place. So one of my top tips that took me a few years to discover is, this is probably just me, I used to try and line up the paper there, the pattern paper, so it was 12 inches, and the penny dropped one day when I could just add the paper as I've just shown you there and then trim it back down to 12 inches. It wasn't really rocket science, but for years I was doing it the other way around. So I'm just going to lift up those edges for a little bit more texture. And you could sew along the bottom there, but I didn't feel as though I needed to in this case. And I'm going to use that Oh What Fun from the puffy phrase stickers, and that was in the embellishment kit. And just to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more edgy, I put that at an angle. And these acetate stars are also in the, sorry, not acetate, they're vellum. They're also in the embellishment kit. And I picked out a red one just to add a little bit more of that red to the page. I like a kind of triadic colour scheme. So the blue, the red and the black and white. So I suppose that's 4 colours, but you know what I mean. I think it just really helps to draw the eye across the page. So the reds that you can see in the photo, and then you'll just draw your eye down to see the red at the bottom of the page too. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's how I felt. And that little snow globe is from the chipboard shapes. They are absolutely delicious. They're just gorgeous. I think we've been really spoilt this month with all those embellishments in the embellishment kit. I can't believe they've done so many. I think I've counted it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different packages of embellishments in the embellishment kit. It's just amazing. Sorry, I'll stop gushing now. So again, these are the puffy phrase stickers from the embellishment kit. And I decided that I didn't want things too heavy at the top, so I'm going with the sequins from the main kit. And they are a lovely pearl finish to those, and I think they match that polka dot paper perfectly. So I'm scattering them around the top, mainly around the top, but I'm also going to scatter a few towards the bottom, just because I like to draw the eye across the page if I can, and I feel that would have that effect. So I'm just using some clear glue. I do love this glue, but it's a bit of a pain because it gets all stringy, but it does seem to stick everything. So although the sequins look random, I have purposefully picked out mainly the blues and the lighter colours, but you can see I've also added 1 or 2 of the pink and the red, just to make sure my colours are re-emphasised at the top of the page. I didn't want it to be all kind of too heavy or... So I'll leave you with the close-ups. I hope you enjoyed the video, and perhaps make your own trees. If you like the video, then please do subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for popping in. See you soon. Bye.